Hey, so the update just dropped. There's Giants, Dragons, Necro, B12. I can only clear Necro B12 with my speed team, but that's going to change once I get the artifacts. So we go to the artifact dungeons, Steel Fortress and Punisher's Crypt, and I was able to clear them B10 pretty fast with manualing though. So I'll just go ahead and show you my team for this Steel Fortress. Now basically it's block beneficial effect, Lauren, and then 3 damage dealers. Any block beneficial effect, it will work. You might even want to try double, but I'm using Irger because, you know, he's probably the best with the dungeon attack power leader skill. The fact that he's neutral, element neutral. You could use the only other one that I have is Megan, but she's water. Irger also has an attack buff like Megan, so those are both positives here. But then Lauren works well because of the decreased attack gauge, defense break, speed break, and then the strip. The strip's very important. You don't have to have a stripper, but it's going to be much more difficult. Just use Lauren, okay? Just use Lauren. And then the damage dealers, Crow's probably the best. Brandia's here just because element advantage and she hits really hard. But you don't even need anyone other than Crow probably. I would suggest probably Sustain. So let's go ahead and get into my run. I'll probably swap in some Sustain. Alright, so now we manual, and I'll just go ahead and show you. If we attack the boss, we'll reduce his attack gauge and stuff, but he puts up the defense buff and the shield. So now we hit him with a block beneficial effect, and we're free to actually team up with enemies and do whatever else we want. Now there's 4 debuffs on him. We have attack buff, but there's also a defense break, a defense buff and a shield. So you'll see how much damage Brandy can do. Of course, the shield was kind of a bit of it was in the way. It doesn't quite give you the full understanding. So now we can also put Brandy, and you can see there that's pretty good. Gives you a good idea of how much Crow can do. And really, Crow's, I would definitely recommend Crow before I'd recommend Brandia. Not because Brandia is bad, but because you should be using Crow and building Crow for other things anyways. But yeah, as you can see, I could have autoed this because the boss doesn't really ever get a turn. Your monster's only gonna die if they're low health and defense. So we get a is it a hero? Yeah, hero grade light artifact, and that's basically that. It took me 3 minutes, but I went slow. For Punisher's Crypt, now I am using 2 nat 5s in Chasoon, but Chasoon is just my best sustain unit. I would recommend use your best sustain. She also comes with attack buff, so you can use her in speed team. Veljo I'm mainly using for the immunity, and then Rika for AoE speed buff, or speed break and dots. You probably would have to split this into 2 units if you don't have it. But let's get into the run, and probably could do it, but he gets turns and he decreases your attack gauge and stuff, so you really need a speed break, and that's the other thing that Rika is used for. She's got 2 AoEs that speed break, and you want AoE speed break because the 2 towers are actually dangerous. One cleanses and AoE attack breaks and does damage. The other one I'll just click on it here. Increases the attack bar of the boss and increases attack speed. So as you can see, I'm doing a lot of damage from dots, and just having the dots on the boss when I hit with Crow's third skill does way more damage. Now, Crow's already died. We're doing a little bit of damage now. But yeah, the boss gets increased attack gauge every time your turn ends, so you don't want to use Violent in this dungeon necessarily. I did 2.5 minute run. That's fine. But yeah, basically I didn't really explain. Verd is there to get us more turns and kind of offset, you know, the extra turns that the boss is getting. So the big points to keep in mind when building your first team or trying to transition into or look for a speed team for these dungeons. First, the Steel Fortress. Your best friend will be, you probably already know it, but Beneficial Effect Block. Irger might be all that you need. You might want to try out a second Beneficial Effect Block, actually running 2 of them in your team. But for this dungeon, you can simply run Lorne and Fran, and I would absolutely recommend those 2 for the healing and immunity, as well as the decreased attack gauge, the strip, the defense break. Everything that comes with all of them is just amazing. Because you can actually decrease the attack gauge of the boss here, and so the only damage you'll be taking is from the left tower, which really isn't that much. Fran might be able to heal it for you. But you have to land the Beneficial Effect Block, otherwise every time you hit the boss, he'll put up a shield, and with the defense buff and the decreased damage passive, you're just not going to deal much damage. Even with all of these debuffs you see here, if he had a defense buff and a shield up, and Crow was attack buffed, he would deal like maybe 20%, 30%, 40% max on the boss, even with all those debuffs. So definitely run Lorne. Try Fran, maybe try El Sherion if you haven't built, but you need Beneficial Effect Block. So the big points of Punisher's Crypt. Obviously can't use attack gauge decrease. I mean, I'll try it out, but right now the most consistent I've found is just a dot team. Crow often dies, but I can focus the left tower, and because it cleanses the boss, but it doesn't cleanse itself, so I can kill the left tower with dots, then kill the boss with dots. It works out pretty well. If you're looking for a speed team, then you're probably going to want to not attack break, speed break, defense break, and then just nuke. So if you can get somebody to speed break nuke, you could to go start out with Galleon and then a speed break nuke and then 3 other nukers. That might work out. Maybe twins, for instance. But for now, I'm using a dot team. It's about 2.5 average, and 90-95% success rate. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this. It's just the first video. I had to put one out there for this new content, and let me tell you, it's tough. I'm gonna have to build new units, I feel like, but right now I'm using Nat 5, so I mean, whatever works. But yeah, it's exciting, and if you want to see more from me, I'll be doing a video on the artifacts, maybe multiple videos, and I'll be definitely doing a video with the no runes in the new dimensional hole boss, which they're scaling the stats up and actually giving us crit damage. It's kind of like innate, but it's actually, if you have less, then it's shifted up, but if you have more, then it's not. So that's going to be exciting. Even if you're not looking forward to it, I am. But that's going to be it for this video. Peace.